Okay, today is March 1st. Yesterday I was doing the barley harvest study, and I wanted to finish reading it because I stopped and said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to continue this, and then I want to tell you guys of a dream that I had this morning. So it says that God harvests his barley, wheat, and grapes in different manners, even as nature teaches us. The chaff from the barley falls away very easily. So barley is said to be winnowed. This is the action of the wind itself by means of fans. I know I read this, but I'm repeating. Are sufficient to get rid of the chaff. This speaks of the barley company who so quickly respond to the wind of the Spirit. To remove the chaff from the wheat requires threshing. This is a more severe action, but it does the job. It depicts the fact that the church will be harvested by means of judgment or tribulation. The word tribulum is a threshing instrument. Okay, and me personally, I cannot get into this, but I have been reading on studies, watched many videos about this, and had lots of conversations that we are not considered the church. And that the church is the one that goes through the tribulation. Being the bride of Christ, you get removed. The bride gets carried over the threshold. So that is us. And then you have the church that goes through the tribulation. That's why they're broke up in 7, kind of like people say the 7-year tribulation. And then that's, the barley, and then you have the wheat, which is the church, and then you have the grapes, which is the end of the harvest, okay? And then finally, to obtain the juice, the grapes must be trodden underfoot. Grapes do not have chaff, but they do have flesh that must be pressed severely in order to obtain the wine. This represents the most severe form of judgment upon the unbelievers. Yet the result is that God obtains wine for his communion table. There is more than one resurrection coming. The first squadron will be those who are called to rule and reign with him. Revelation 24:4-6. The second group will be those believers who are raised along with all the unbelievers. John 5:28-29, Luke 12:46. At the great white throne, Revelation 20:11-13. The second group of believers will miss the first resurrection and will not reign with Christ during the 1,000 years in the tabernacle's age to come. Nonetheless, they will certainly be saved, yet so as through fire. 1 Corinthians 3:15. Jesus made it clear in Luke 12:46-49 that those servants of God who mistreated others would receive a flogging before being given their reward. The third group will be the unbelievers themselves after their time of judgment has been completed. For there will be a jubilee at the end of time, according to the law, wherein all of creation will be set free in the glorious liberty of the children of God. Romans 8:21. And actually, this is the identical study that I did 8 years ago. This is no new information. How it's broke up, the barley, the wheat, and the grapes, that we are considered the bride. We're not considered the church. You don't want to be a part of the church because that's where judgment comes. Judgment starts in the house of God. Okay? I know, and we are the body, as they say, the body, because we become one with Christ. Christ rise up from the dead. We are considered that with the first fruits. We rise, we get out away from the judgment that is going to come upon the earth. Okay? I always thought the Church of Philadelphia was the one that's going to get raptured. I believe that there are different segments of what is going to happen. The Bible sometimes can be confusing, especially in Revelation. So that's why I don't really want to touch that, because I don't want to twist things or put my own interpretation to it. So you guys need to study for yourselves. So I want to present this dream I had to you this morning. And I believe this ties along with the eclipse. I believe this ties along with, around the same exact timing of these events that is going to occur. So I was trying to paint this room, and it was all on the wall. It was a million different colors. I can't even explain it. And I didn't know where to start. And my Travis, which is my sister's husband, was painting the other side. Okay? But there was these pictures that was on the wall. It had moons on them. kid you not. I said, when these colors are done, then darkness shall fall. Black moon, black earth. Don't remember why I said that, but all the paint fell off the walls and onto the floor as liquid only. I just watched them. It just fell like a curtain. And it was like a flood onto the floor of nothing but paint. And it was all over our shoes. And we had Crocs on. I said, everyone step out. So they did. And the paint stayed on the floor about 4 inches deep. Him and I had to paint all 4 corners of this wall. And we couldn't get the paint up off the floor. So we had to paint the picture on the wall to use it to clean up the mess. So I'm dipping my paintbrush on the ground and putting it on the wall to paint. Okay. And all of a sudden I saw a scale and it was black. I stepped on it, but my feet were so big. I got off and it read 201. Then I tried again and I said 160. I said I lost weight. I really don't weigh that, guys. So I lost weight when the wall was painted. It was a moon picture, and it was all black and purple surrounding the wall. But it was like, I can't even explain the colors that I seen. It was pretty. And on the other side, where he was painting, was trees, rocks, and an ocean scene, but it had millions and millions of stars. And there was meteors or something that was just streaming down. And then I woke up. So I had a couple people helping me with this dream. And, you know, they're really good at interpreting dreams. And so I come up with black earth represents the judgment that is coming upon the earth. Okay, the solar eclipse is going to cause the moon to not give its light, right? The sun's going to be darkened. The moon's already dark anyway. It's the sun that gives the moon its light. Okay, so that's what that's representing, an eclipse of some sort. And 160 means sudden. 201 means a place of audience or listen. And Travis means left a mark in this world, and tax collector, which is translated to cross, like to cross over, kind of like the Exodus. The solar eclipse going through Exodus and Nineveh and so on and so forth. Okay, and if you subtract 160 from 102, okay, those is 58. And what this is, it is 201 subtracted, what that is, or backwards. That gives you 58. And 58 means plain and meadow, but the best part, it means an assembly. Okay? Like a rapture or gathering unto him. And the weight of this world is about to be lifted off of our shoulders. Okay? The solar eclipse, moon turned to darkness, earth becomes black as sackcloth, judgment upon the earth, 4 corners when the angels hold the 4 winds from touching the earth while God's people are marked. 144,000, right? The paint on the floor represents in Revelation where the blood is up to the horse's bridle. Okay, and the millions of colors could be the millions of people of all different skins, nations, tongues, people all over the whole entire world. With the scale representing Libra, the balance beam, which is also what's holding. This represents the economic collapse. And all of these up in the sky is going to happen at the timing of this eclipse with the alignment of the planets. Now, what's ironic is after I woke up, I got sent a video on TikTok that was about 3 moons. I dreamt about 3 moons, but what I found ironic about that was I just had this dream of moons and meteors and stuff. And I believe that this eclipse is going to cause, you know, 1/3 of the stars to fall from the sky. I believe that absolutely something's getting ready to get cast down, whether it be the Nephilim, whether it be aliens, demons, the fallen angels, so on and so forth. Something major is about to happen, and I can feel it. But I also feel that we are getting ready to go home. So we are on borrowed time. So pray over this as always. If you guys have any more interpretation, let me know. I'll see you there in the air. God bless.
You want to have your mind blown real quick? If so, stay and listen to this. We're going to read out of Matthew chapter 12, verse 39. It says, "Only an evil and adulterous generation would demand a miraculous sign, but the only sign I will give them is the sign of the prophet Jonah." Watch this. Well, what's the sign of Jonah, you may ask? Well, Jonah was supposed to go warn the city of Nineveh about the coming judgment, but he didn't. He rebelled against God, and he got swallowed by a fish, was in the belly of the fish for 3 days. But then God spat him out of the fish, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go do it, Lord." Then he went to the town of Nineveh and was like, "Hey, yo, you about to be under judgment if you don't repent." But even the king and all the people threw him burlap, and they repented in sorrow, and God did not put them under judgment. And we all know how this generation is evil and adulterous by far. If you have common sense and rational thinking, everyone's always like, "I need proof. Prove to me we're in the end times." Open your eyeballs, dude. But anyways, what I'm getting at, this right here is the 2017 solar eclipse. This right here is the 2024 solar eclipse. That's the path it's going to be making. It's going to be making an X over the United States. 2017 was 7 years ago, and the next one is 7 years later, which is going to be here in a month. And we all know how the number 7 always pops up in the Bible. But it just so happens that the 2024 one is going to be going through some towns named Nineveh. Nineveh, Texas, Nineveh, Missouri, Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Pennsylvania, Nineveh, Virginia, Nineveh, New York, and Nineveh, Nova Scotia. Also, this number X is the Tav in the Hebrew alphabet. Jesus said, "I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last." The first letter in the Hebrew alphabet is the Aleph. The last one is the Tav. Aleph and Tav. I'm the Aleph and Tav, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. This is the modern day Tav, and this is the Paleo Hebrew Tav. This is the old Tav, the original Tav. Just so happens to be an X. An X. An X. 8 towns named Nineveh. Only an evil and adulterous generation would demand a miraculous sign, but the only sign I will give them is the sign of the prophet Jonah. Luke chapter 21 verse 25 says, "And there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and here on the earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides." We all know how there's been flooding, natural disasters. Obviously we're in turmoil. Groceries are out the roof, sky high, gas prices going through the roof, there's wars, everyone's fighting, everything's corrupt. Bro, wake up, wake up. Yes, we're in the end times. Yes, you might think of yourself not special. "Oh, why would God pick me to be in the end times?" There's no way we're in the end times. Yes, we're in the end times, okay? We are in the end times. You were born in this generation at this very moment for a reason. Nothing is an accident. Everything is planned by God. Everything is perfectly laid out. Nothing's an accident. There's no such thing as luck or coincidences. You need to wake up, take your head out of the sand, face facts. Yes, we're in the end times. I don't care what you say. You better give your life to Jesus. Deuces.
Anyone else besides me find this a little weird? All of the stuff that they are telling us to do when it comes to this eclipse. What do they know that we don't know? They're telling us to get groceries. They're telling us to stock up on essentials. They're telling us to have cash on hand just in case. So what exactly do they know that we don't know? That first photo that you seen was a news station in Arkansas. This one that you're seeing on screen is from a place in Ohio. So what exactly do they know is coming? What are they not telling us? This is some strange stuff indeed. You tell me what you think about all of this. They're even saying possible gas shortages. Very strange stuff is happening. Some strange things are definitely ahead. Be ready and be prepared because you never know what's coming next.